Leelanau County Road Commissioner Tom Eckerly facing growing calls to resign after using a racial slur in blaming the state's COVID-19 crisis on black Detroiters during a recent board meeting. According to the local paper there, the Leelanau Enterprise, the comments came after Eckerly was asked why he was not wearing a mask. He responded by saying, quote, "Well, this whole thing is because of them N-words down in Detroit." Board Chairman Bob Joyce reportedly pushed back, telling Eckerly he could not say that, but the commissioner doubled down, responding, "I can say anything I want." And Black Lives Matter has everything to do with taking the country away from us. Dawood Walid from the Council of American Islamic Relations in Michigan was one of the first Metro Detroit leaders to condemn the remarks.
Well, when he's saying Black Lives Matter, that's code word for black people in general. From his statement, he's feeling that they're taking America away from us is meaning that white dominance. So this is really a white supremacist comment. That this individual feels so emboldened to have said this publicly shows that there's a greater problem that's going on, not only in the state of Michigan, but around the country.
But it could take nearly a year to have Eckerly removed from office.
An act of hate. That's what the president of Georgetown's NAACP branch is calling a noose found hanging inside a Georgetown County vehicle. Now, community members and officials are asking for an employee to be fired. Council on American Islamic Relations, the nation's largest Muslim civil rights and advocacy organization, joined the NAACP in calling for the firing of that employee, adding, quote, "These types of incidents indicate the urgent need for all Americans to speak out against anti-black racism and white supremacy." Spokesperson for the county releasing a statement saying, quote, "Following the investigation, that employee was suspended for 2 weeks without pay. As this is an ongoing personnel issue, no further comment on the matter will be issued by Georgetown County."
A Northeast Wisconsin college employee is out of a job tonight after making controversial comments on social media.
National groups are getting involved because of one comment about a Muslim congresswoman. Fox 11's Kia Murray has a closer look.
Bigots not being brain surgeons, they're usually equal opportunity offenders. When they go after one group of people, they'll normally go after another group of people too.
Ibrahim Hooper is responding to reports of a local college spokesperson's controversial social media posts. Fox Valley Technical College spokesperson Chris Jossert made the comments and posts on LinkedIn. They reportedly called the Black Lives Matter movement a disgrace. Reports add Jossert referred to U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar, a Democrat and Muslim woman from Minnesota, as anti-American filth.
I almost do the exact job that this guy used to do. And, I just find it incomprehensible that somebody in this kind of position where you're trying to put out a positive message to the community would do just the opposite.
It's why Hooper tells me he wants everyone to walk away from this situation with just a little more education. In Grand Chute, Kia Murray, Fox 11 News.
Twin Cities leaders and citizens once again calling for the termination of Minneapolis Police Union President Bob Kroll. The Minnesota chapter of the Council of American Islamic Relations held a joint press conference with the Coalition of Police Accountability and Civil Rights Groups today to demand the firing of Kroll.
Bob Kroll has a history of being part of 50 complaints, and we know that majority of people who are victims of some form of police brutality actually do not report and do not file complaints. So 50 is just to show that Bob Kroll has committed even much more that we don't know.
The groups are expected to deliver over 250,000 petition signatures, calling on Mayor Jacob Fry, the Minneapolis City Council, and Police Chief Madaria Arredondo to fire Kroll from the police department and the federation he leads.
Now let's talk about a renewed call for a group of Phoenix police officers to be fired and criminally charged after a new video of an in-custody death. This happened back in 2017. Activists say the video shows officers impeding the man's ability to breathe while another appears to mock his religion.
Being disciplined and fired from the department. Number two, possible criminal charges against the officers that were involved in this.
The Council on American Islamic Relations is one of 61 community action groups and religious organizations that sent this letter this week calling on Phoenix's mayor and the county attorney to act.
You need to treat people with dignity and respect, and that goes into speaking with respect about their faith or their color or how they look, their disability. It seems as though that type of bias was brought into this policing interaction as well, and you're basically taking away the humanity of this individual and joking about it.
According to the Phoenix Police Department, that's an inaccurate interpretation. Phoenix police say their officers are trained to diffuse situations when possible, which is what was done for Muhammad, adding officers did not mock or target Mr. Muhammad based on his religion, race, or any other factor. And in reality, they say, their officer responded, Allah, we're trying to help you right now, dude, so relax.
This is not something that can be PR'd away. This was a human being's life that was in their hands, and the person lost their life.
I'm investigator Melissa Blasius, ABC 15, Arizona.
And the Phoenix Police and the mayor's office say that they cannot comment on the case because of the ongoing litigation. And the county attorney's office, they reviewed that case back in 2018, and they declined to press any criminal charges against those officers. And that office says that they would not reopen that case unless the Phoenix Police Department resubmitted with new evidence.
Covering the Lowcountry this morning, one of the nation's largest civil rights organizations says a Lowcountry council member should consider stepping down. Berkeley County Council member Tommy Newell posted this picture to his Facebook account. He said he was playing a terrorist, the, quote, sheik of Berkeley County, for a training exercise. That exercise was done outside of the county with a private company. But now the Council on American Islamic Relations says Newell's actions and clothing are offensive.
So when you automatically associate this attire with terrorism, it really can create a negative environment for ordinary American Muslims and their families who could suffer discrimination, bias, and even violence in some cases.
That post now receiving national attention. We asked Newell for a comment. He declined. He also deleted that Facebook post.
Today, a chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations is holding a news conference this morning in front of the Wyandotte County Unified Government Building. They are demanding that Wyandotte County officials reopen criminal cases in which they say were unjust. The group says the cases it is questioning involve a former police detective who's been connected with corruption and abuse in other cases. The news conference will begin at 10 a.m.
Islamic leaders question what they call wrongful convictions, wrongful imprisonments, unsolved homicides, and misuse of power.
We're talking about former KCK detective and police captain Roger Golubski.
A prominent group in Portland called for Mayor Wheeler to step down.
We don't take this call to resignation lightly. This is a very serious request.
They held a virtual announcement earlier tonight. Meanwhile, the mayor has a message for anyone who's asking him to resign.
For those who don't want to work with me, maybe they'd work with one of my colleagues, or maybe they work with Mike, or maybe they'd work with the chief. This is an all-hands-on-deck call.
I think first and foremost.
But in a virtual announcement earlier tonight, CAIR Oregon, the Council of American Islamic Relations, says it's a new level of concern.
These groups are coming in and terrorizing our community, and the community does not have the confidence in law enforcement or city leadership to protect us from these elements.
Tonight, they're demanding new leadership, clear vision, and a clear understanding of the problems in Portland.
At this point, afraid for additional harms that are going to be caused to our community.
With the firings now coming at a rate of twice a week, it is increasingly more important to ask this basic common sense question. What does any of this have to do with the Council on American Islamic Relations?